Hello and welcome back to Body Bags. I am your host for Saturday evening, the Sinister one. And today I have something quite special um, to review and to show all you people in the horror genre. It's a theme week, and it's a very special theme week. Midnight movies. Now, these are MGM um, films that were put out on DVD and VHS, and there's a whole lot of them. And um, everyone has, a certain set of these films in their collection. Killer Clowns from Outer Space is one of the biggest known MGM midnight movies that everyone has in their collection. But there's so many, and by God, I have the whole entire collection, and there's a lot. So we did a theme week in the Body Bags channel to do the MGM midnight movies, and everyone's reviewing um, a movie from that line, and there's a lot. So, and a lot of classics, and just a lot of phenomenal films in this line. A lot of Vincent Price. Just a lot of good cinema in this line, and it's very hard to come by. It's very expensive, and I'm glad that I have the whole entire collection, and I'll have to do a separate video later on and introduce everything. Because I get a lot of you know people that are saying, and my friends and everyone says, you need to do that. You need to do the whole MGM line of midnight movies, and I will. I promise you. I'm sorry, it's been so long, and I'm gonna get around to it. I promise you. But anyways, so here we go with the MGM midnight movies, and this is the double bill. So I was going to do the Haunted Palace, starring Vincent Price and Lon Chaney Jr. Those two names right there are legendary in the horror genre, and you can't go wrong with Lon Chaney Jr. and Vincent Price. Vincent Price is pretty much the best actor in cinema, hands down. He is um, very special, and the dialogue that he has in his films, it's just like, how can you remember those lines? How can you know, just perform like that? He was just a master, and I love Vincent Price. I think Vincent Price, yes, is probably the best actor that ever walked the face of the earth. I love him. He's always had a special place in my heart, and he's great at what he did, and he's creepy, and there's just no other performance but him. He was very spectacular and very special in the horror genre. If you like those classic movies, he really did, you know, um, put on the show, and I love him. Dr. Phibes, just a great actor, and um, hopefully, everyone in the genre, they appreciate my opinion. So hopefully, you will too, because I think Vincent Price is just, he was something that we'll never see in our lifetime again. Just phenomenal, and I love his films, and I always enjoy watching his films and watching his performance and listening to his dialogue and his voice, because it's very special and it's very unique. So I'm gonna get into this review. So we have um, The Haunted Palace, and what we have here is an Edgar Allan Poe story, so to speak, but it has H.P. Lovecraft elements in it. So it takes place in Arkham, Massachusetts, which is a H.P. Lovecraft um, city, and a lot of things go down in that style, in that environment. Arkham Horror. I absolutely love Arkham Horror. It's um, H.P. Lovecraft created, and there's a lot of things that go on in that city. A lot of horror and um, crazy madness that goes down in that city. It's a fictional city, created by H.P. Lovecraft. And so we have Edgar Allan Poe and H.P. Lovecraft together in this film, and those two guys were really, you know, unique in the time of the 20s, 1800s. They they were before their time, and they had their great poetic, artistic things that they did. They wrote, and if you get into them, a lot of people were talking about how they had psychological issues, but that is what it is, I mean, they came up with great ideas, and I don't hold any of that against them. They put out great stories, and I love their work, and they're very special in my opinion. So we have the Haunted Palace, and it takes place in Arkham, Massachusetts. And what happened is there was a man, which was played by Vincent Price, who did some bad things, and then the town told him he's a warlock, and they got him, and they burnt him at the stake. So now, 3 generations later, Vincent Price is his great 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 grandson, and he's doing his thing, and he's got his wife and this and that, and he got pretty much possessed by his ancestor, who was the warlock. And so now we have Vincent Price is playing the new warlock, and he's going after the people that the family that persecuted him and killed him. So he's going after their relatives one by one, and he's possessed, and he's a warlock, and I really do appreciate that, because I love that concept of, he's got some magic and some witchcraft going on, and my Arkham Horror is, I love it, and a warlock in Arkham Horror is very scary, very powerful. It's really creepy, how someone could be so sadistic and evil, but powerful at the same time. And in Arkham Horror, Massachusetts, I mean, if you're a warlock, you're up to something, because there's a lot of creepy things going on in Arkham, So the warlock, Vincent Price, pulls it off great, and I really highly enjoyed it, and I would recommend this movie if you're a Vincent Price fan, and of course the Midnite movies. So I'm gonna leave it at that, because I can talk about Arkham all the time. So thanks for watching my review. Watch The Haunted Palace, starring Vincent Price and Lon Chaney Jr. Thanks, and I will see you next week, people. And be careful, because you don't know who the warlock is.